Hi, for this video, I am with the hypothetical question, what if we had white blood? I am personally very fond of what if questions because I feel many a times such what if questions help us understand and relish evolutionary miracles. For example, hemoglobin is an evolutionary miracle. And if you want to understand what are the advantages of hemoglobin which you have got as a result of evolution, you need to ask yourself this question, what if we had white blood? And such questions also help us to understand physiological and biochemical processes on a lighter note. Okay, so for those of you who are visiting this YouTube channel for the first time, this is Dr. Shanmuga Priya, Professor and HOD of Biochemistry at Government Thoothukudi Medical College. I am also the faculty of Biochemistry Speed Learning app Basics to Clinics, and I've recorded this app with one objective, just one objective. It is to make all medical students and medical practitioners understand a basic fact. That biochemistry is not just about cycles and flowcharts. Biochemistry is by itself an enigma, and an understanding of this enigma will help you in applying biochemistry in your clinical practice. And that is why I've recorded this app conceptually, and that is why the name Basics to Clinics. And if you're a medical student, you can be a first year undergraduate student aiming to clear off your first year university exam, or you can be a second year student who's trying to get yourself prepared for the next exam, or there's a finished MBBS preparing for your NEET PG entrance. This app would definitely help. So if you want to subscribe to this app of mine, I have provided the link below in the description box. Now coming to our question, what if we had white blood? Now let me begin this topic with a lighter note. So if we had white blood, we would have definitely missed those cheesy expressions and cheesy statements. She blushed as red as a strawberry. Can you see that on her face? She blushed as red as a strawberry on seeing her crush. We would have missed that. And we often say this couple paints the city red. We would have instead said this couple has painted a city white. And interestingly, men would have found this white blood advantageous because even the most observant wife would not have caught hold of a husband who has sneaked out to have 2 or 3 glasses of wine, basically because the blood red short eyes would have missed, right? If not for our red blood, this would have missed, and this is advantageous for men who want to sneak out to have wine. And postcards would have missed statements like, I hope my letter finds you in the pink of your health. Instead, we would have written as, I hope my letter finds you in the white of your health. So this just about the lighter side of what if we had white blood. Now, this is not all. What would have happened to physiological and biochemical processes? And to understand that, you will have to know few facts related to basal oxygen requirements. The first fact is normal arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen is 95 millimeters of mercury. This is one fact which I want you all to know. And when the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen is 95 millimeter of mercury, hemoglobin, normal adult hemoglobin is 97% saturated. And when your hemoglobin is 97% saturated, 1 gram of hemoglobin can transport 1.34 ml of oxygen in the bound form. Okay, this is the nature of your normal adult hemoglobin. It's 97% saturated. 1 gram of hemoglobin can transport 1.34 ml of oxygen in the bound form. So 1 deciliter of arterial blood. 1 deciliter of arterial blood which has 15 grams of hemoglobin normally would transport how much of oxygen in the bound form? It's going to be 15 into 1.34, which is 19.5 ml of oxygen in the bound form. So please remember this statement. When the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen is 95 millimeters of mercury, which is normal, 1 deciliter of our arterial blood carries 19.5 ml of oxygen in the bound form. But please understand this, not only your hemoglobin, even your plasma can transport oxygen in the dissolved form. And the amount of oxygen dissolved in plasma, the amount of oxygen dissolved in plasma is 0.3 ml of oxygen per deciliter of plasma. So put together 1 deciliter of arterial blood. 1 deciliter of arterial blood would have how much of oxygen? 19.5 plus 0.3 ml would be totally 19.8 ml of oxygen, which is approximated as 20 ml of oxygen. Do you understand this? In a normal person, 1 deciliter of arterial blood has got 20 ml of oxygen. Okay. Now this arterial blood breaks into capillaries and then it becomes venous blood. And if you look at the venous blood partial pressure, if you look at the venous blood oxygen content, it is only 15 ml of oxygen. Do you understand this? In arterial blood, the amount of oxygen is 20 ml per deciliter. In the venous blood, the oxygen content is 15 ml per deciliter, which means how much of oxygen has been given off to tissues. You have given off 5 ml of oxygen. You have given off 5 ml of oxygen per deciliter of blood. Okay. So what is the amount of oxygen delivered per minute? So what have we found out? We have found out that 5 ml of oxygen is delivered per deciliter of blood, and I'm asking you what is the per minute oxygen delivery. So this statement means if 100 ml is the blood flow, your circulation provides 5 ml of oxygen to tissues. But what is the blood flow per minute? What is the cardiac output? You know the cardiac output is 5 liters per minute. So it is 5000 ml per minute. So if 100 ml is the blood flow, you give off 5 ml of oxygen to tissues. If 5000 ml per minute is the blood flow, how much of oxygen is given off to tissues? It is 250 ml per minute. You understand this? It is 250 ml per minute. So if anyone asks you, what is the basal oxygen requirement? The question is, what is the basal oxygen requirement? What should be your answer? It is 250 ml per minute. Okay. So that's about my first objective, to tell you what is the basal oxygen requirement, which is 250 ml per minute. Now, what are the differences between amount of oxygen that is bound to hemoglobin and amount of oxygen that is dissolved in plasma? The first difference is amount of oxygen dissolved in plasma is a constant, and it is always 0.3 ml of oxygen per deciliter of plasma. Then the partial pressure of oxygen is 100 millimeter of mercury. Because according to Henry's law, amount of gas that is dissolved in a solution is directly proportional to partial pressure of oxygen. So the amount of oxygen that is dissolved in plasma is a constant. It's always 0.3 ml of oxygen per deciliter of plasma until the partial pressure of oxygen is 100 millimeter of mercury. That way, can you say amount of oxygen that is bound to hemoglobin is always 19.5 ml of oxygen? We calculated as 19.5 ml in the previous slide. My question is it going to be always 19.5 ml? No, because this calculation is based on many assumptions. The first assumption which I made is, I just assumed that the person has got normal adult hemoglobin. What if the person has got a hemoglobin variant with a differing affinity? In which case, even if the partial pressure of oxygen is 95 millimeter of mercury, his hemoglobin is not going to be 97% saturated. If it's less saturated, amount of oxygen bound to hemoglobin would be less. right? The second assumption which I made is this person has got 15 grams of hemoglobin per deciliter, which is not true many a times. What if the person is anemic? Again, this grams of hemoglobin per deciliter of blood would be less, which means it's not going to be 19.5 ml of oxygen. Again, it's going to be less than that. And then I just assumed that this person has got normal concentrations of hydrogen ion. I just assumed that this person has got normal concentration of 2,3 BPG and normal partial pressure of carbon dioxide, because we know whenever there is a variation in hydrogen ion concentration, amount of oxygen bound to hemoglobin would vary. For example, Bohr effect, right? Acidosis, increase in hydrogen ion concentration would dissociate oxygen from hemoglobin. So it's not going to be 19.5 ml again. What if there is high 2,3 BPG? Again, hemoglobin won't be able to bind oxygen because 2,3 BPG reduces the affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen. What if the person is hypercarbic? Yeah, more partial pressure of carbon dioxide. That also dissociates oxygen away. So this value of 19.5 ml of oxygen that is bound to hemoglobin is not a constant. It is going to vary depending upon the hemoglobin variant a person has got, depending upon the hemoglobin concentration a person has got, depending upon the concentration of hydrogen ion 2,3 BPG and carbon dioxide. Whereas amount of oxygen that is dissolved in plasma is not affected by any of these factors. It's always a constant. It is 0.3 ml per deciliter when the partial pressure of oxygen is 100 millimeters of mercury. Now coming to our question, what if I have white blood? Yeah, what if I have white blood? What is the effect? So if I don't have hemoglobin, it means I can't rely on the 19.5 ml of oxygen that is bound to hemoglobin. I'm going to rely only on the 0.3 ml of oxygen that is dissolved in plasma to meet my basal oxygen requirements. And what is my basal oxygen requirement? For any human being, the basal oxygen requirement is 250 ml per minute. And what is the amount of oxygen dissolved in plasma? It is 0.3 ml of oxygen per deciliter of plasma, which means if I want 0.3 ml of oxygen to be delivered to my tissues, 100 ml should be the plasma flow. Do you understand this? If I say 0.3 ml of oxygen is dissolved in 100 ml of plasma, I mean to say if I want 0.3 ml of oxygen, what should be my plasma flow? It has to be 100 ml. But what is the amount of oxygen I want? I want 250 ml of oxygen to be delivered per minute. For which what should be the plasma flow? So it is 100 by 0.3 into 250. So this ml and this ml get cancelled. So final unit would be ml per minute. Okay, so it's going to be 250 two zeros divided by 0.3. Okay, so it is 83.33 liters. Yeah, you will get it as 83330 ml. If you convert it, it's going to be 83.33 liters per minute. So if we were not provided with hemoglobin, if we had white blood, to meet our basal oxygen requirement of 250 ml per minute, our cardiac output should have been 83.33 liters per minute. And what is our actual cardiac output? Because we have red blood, it is 5 liters per minute. Do you understand now the significance of hemoglobin? Only because we are provided with the red blood, we are happy with the cardiac output of 5 liters per minute. And if we had white blood, our cardiac output should have been 83.33 liters per minute. And for a cardiac output of 5 liters per minute, if this is how you look, yeah, if this is how much you weigh, imagine how huge you should have been to get a cardiac output of 83.33 liters. Yeah, so that's the significance of we having a red blood. Okay, now before I close this session, let me also tell you another significance of dissolved oxygen. Why should we know this by heart? that the amount of oxygen dissolved in plasma is always 0.3 ml of oxygen per deciliter of plasma when the partial pressure of oxygen is 100 millimeter of mercury. Do we have any significance attached to this? Yes. There is a significance that's attached to this because when a person is on hyperbaric oxygen or when a person is on ventilator, we cannot rely on the amount of oxygen that is bound to hemoglobin to transport excess oxygen. Yeah, for example, let me tell you a hypothetical situation wherein a person is on a ventilator and the ventilator is set up in such a way that the ventilator provides 4 atmospheric pressure, 100% oxygen. Yeah, the ventilator is set in such a way that it provides 4 atmospheric pressure and 100% oxygen. For this, the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen would be 3000 millimeter of mercury. If you want to know how I found out this number, yeah, I have uploaded a video on this YouTube channel, the link of which I provided below. The video is on alveolar gas equation. So if you use alveolar gas equation and if you substitute these values, you will get the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen as 3000 millimeter of mercury. And when the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen is as high as 3000 millimeter of mercury, you cannot rely on hemoglobin to transport the excess oxygen, because even when the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen is 95 millimeters of mercury, it is just 95, even then I said hemoglobin is 97% saturated. It's already maximally working. It's already maximally saturated. So by increasing the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen from 95 to 3000 by setting up a ventilator, hemoglobin cannot stretch anymore. So what are you going to be dependent on to carry the excess oxygen? You're going to be dependent on the plasma to carry the excess oxygen. And already you know the amount of oxygen that is dissolved in plasma is 0.3 ml per deciliter when the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen is 100. Which means when the partial pressure of oxygen is 100, the amount of oxygen that can be carried by plasma is 0.3 ml per deciliter. And for this ventilator setup, I said the partial pressure of oxygen is 3000 millimeter of mercury. So how much of oxygen is delivered by the plasma? It is 9 ml per deciliter. For this setup, for this ventilator setup, your plasma is going to start carrying oxygen at what concentration? 9 ml per deciliter. And when it is 9 ml per deciliter, what is the per minute oxygen delivery? How will you convert per deciliter to per minute oxygen delivery? 9 ml per deciliter tells you if 100 ml is the blood flow, yeah, this blood can transport 9 ml of oxygen, right? But what is the blood flow per minute? Normal blood flow per minute is 5000 ml per minute. For which what would be the oxygen that is delivered? It is going to be 450 ml per minute. So for that hyperbaric oxygen setting of 4 atmospheric pressure, yeah, at 100% oxygen, the amount of oxygen that is delivered by the blood would be 450 ml per minute, which is much more than the basal oxygen requirement. Do you understand this? So based on this hypothetical question of what if we had white blood, we have understood 2 physiological processes. The first physiological process which I have understood is only because we have hemoglobin, our cardiac output is 5 liters per minute. Had we been provided with a white blood, our cardiac output would have been 84 liters per minute, for which we should have been so huge. At least 1/10 the weight of an elephant. Okay. That's one understanding which you have got, and based on this we have also understood the significance of amount of oxygen that is dissolved in plasma. When you set up a ventilator for your patient, You're not dependent on hemoglobin to carry the excess oxygen. You're dependent on only plasma to carry the excess oxygen, because even without hyperbaric oxygen, your hemoglobin is maximally working. It's 97% saturated. So using a ventilator, if you raise the arteriolar partial pressure of oxygen from 95 to 3000, as in the example which I've given you, your hemoglobin cannot increase its oxygen anymore. So you're dependent on plasma. And in that case, it's going to carry 450 ml of oxygen per minute, which is much more than the basal oxygen requirements. Yeah, so this is all I wanted to convey through this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.